Hi, it's Catherine with Yoga from the Art with Catherine, and I wanted to welcome you to a yoga practice today. We're going to do a little bit of a flow, a little bit more advanced than what I normally do, but I think that it can at least give you an opportunity to say, maybe I can do that. I'm going to do a little more standing today, and obviously, we'll do our get started stretches as well. So go ahead and make sure you have your mat, at least one, if not two blocks, maybe a strap, and a blanket for kneeling if you need it to modify anything. I have my bolster here as well. So go ahead and grab those things. Make sure you get a drink of water, and we'll get going here in just a moment. I'm going to grab from my oracle cards while you're doing that. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying life as it is. Yes, I'm going to draw from the Wild Offering card deck, which is an oracle deck that I really, truly like. Um, one of those decks that is simple and pretty. Has Ganesha on that side and a nice message on each of the cards. The cards are very pretty. This is by Tosha Silver is the author, and art is by Katie Daisy. I was trying to read the box while I was talking to you. So I'm going to do a shuffle this deck. First, I'm going to just put my little remote down for the recording so I can turn this off at the end. Um, Still doing my practice here at home. I imagine that I probably will continue to do this just to keep the YouTube channel going. Yeah. And thank you for subscribing and sharing. I appreciate that. So, shuffling here. And let's see what card we're going to get for the day. And if you notice, I'm standing because I got my camera elevated. Okay, so the card for today is positivity. And I have my glasses around my neck, so it might be easier to put them on. Vanity. And read to you guys. Positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, help me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in the hardest situations. Positivity. I'll read it at the end as well. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself seated onto your mat in a comfortable spot. And I'm going to join you on my bolster. Sitting here, background, the fireplace is going because it is definitely winter when I'm recording this. We had 12 inches of snow land in our yard within just a matter of a few days, so it's been interesting. Yeah, life is life, right? It's either hot or cold or whatever, so we make do with what we can. Okay, so what I want you to do is to find that comfortable spot. You could be sitting on your bolster. Maybe you take a block and put it underneath your sits bones and just sit on that as well. What this does is it helps to elevate our hips up a little bit and let the knees open up so that we release some of the tension in our low back and release some of the tension in our hip flexors. Morning, Shar. And just to sit a little taller. And you might even want to play around. Maybe it feels better to have the firm block or a book underneath your sits bones. Maybe it feels good to have a bolster or cushion under, and maybe you don't even need anything, and that's perfectly all right. Okay. And I have some friends that say, I can't really do the crossy legs, so come into the hero's pose where you have your feet behind you and your knees out in front. You do what feels best. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is focus on our breath and just bring ourselves into our practice. Let's start to take those breaths, just do a little bit of a scan breath. That's kind of what I like to call it, just where we breathe in and just let the natural flow of the breath go in and out. But we also mindfully, mentally scan through our body. And then we're looking for any place that might be tight or tender, or any place that just might be, there might be something that needs to be let go of. Okay. So you identify those things. And just know that your practice is unique to each time that you get on your mat. There isn't really anything that is the same. That's why it's called practice. We continue to get better at it and to work through any of those stumbles that we have. Maybe we need to practice on a particular pose or asana or just being here. Okay? Don't put too much pressure on you. Doing the very best that you can. Let me sit a little taller. Let me feel that spine lengthen in the shoulders. Come up and down and back. You let your arms tuck in next to the side of your body. Maybe the elbows resting right along the ribs, right at the hips. And the hands can rest on the tops of your thighs or maybe just tucked into your lap. You choose. Let's start to deepen our breath. A little longer in through the nose. A little longer exhale out through the nose. Trying to match that time, that in and out time. Maybe you feel your jaw and recognize that your teeth might be tight and the jaw might be tight. Soften it there. Let the lips stay close together, but just soften your jaw. Separate the teeth. You feel that slide down your neck, down into the collarbone and through the spine. Just a little release of tension. Continuing to deepen that breath. And letting it linger and go out. Just a nice, smooth, refreshing breath in and breath out. Don't rush it. You do your own pace. Breathing in, breathing in light and gratitude and positivity. And as you exhale, let some of that light and that gratitude and positivity float around you, into your space, into the world around you. Be it there for another to grasp. Float that breath in and out. The next breath out, I want you to slide your breath all the way down to the very ends of your toes. And as we breathe in, we're going to scan up the body, coming into the foot, the ankle, the calves, and to the knees. And when you get to the knees, take a real big breath in and open your mouth and let it go. And seal those lips and bring our awareness to the knees and to the tops of the thighs, maybe into the backs of the thighs, up to the hips and to the hip creases and to your sits bones. Take a big breath in here and open your mouth and let it go. We seal those lips and bring the awareness back to the low back and wrap it around into your tummy in the front. Just kind of focus on the chest and the lungs and all of this core that we have, sliding the breath and the awareness up to the heart. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth and let it go. Sealing the lips, bring our breath and awareness to our shoulders. Let that awareness glide down the arms toward the elbows and the wrists, down to the tips of the fingers. Flutter those fingers as you take a breath in. And you exhale, let it go. And awareness slides back up the arms, up to the shoulders, back to the back of the neck, and wrapping around to the throat and the chin. Breath in here. Breath out here. Sealing those lips, we're going to bring our awareness to our lips, to the cheekbones, to the ears, maybe the back, right behind the ears, that lobe. Wrapping it right back up to the temple and the eyes, your third eye, and finally to the top of our head, to our crown chakra. Take a very big breath in here. Open your mouth and blow it out. Let it go. Beautiful scan of the body. We're going to seal those lips and draw our awareness from the top of our head down in reverse order, back, all the way back to the very tips of our toes. And just be mindful how you're feeling. All right. Your next breath in, just draw it up like a zipper, up the body to the very top of the head. And magically open those eyes and welcome you to your practice. Bring your hands to the tops of your knees and roll your shoulders up and down and back. Now, if you want to, you can stay on your bolster, but what I'd like you to do first is bring those hands up high. We're going to exhale, bring them into our heart center, and do this 2 more times. Just feeling some movement through the shoulders and the hands, lengthening that spine as we draw the hands to our heart. And with that 3rd time, maybe gather up something that you are working on, your intention, and press the palms together and bring that intention right to your heart. Set your intention for this practice, or maybe whatever you're working on. Breath in, gratitude, light, positivity, and out. And when you are ready, let's open those eyes. Push the hands up high overhead. Reach them up. And nice and easy, just release and let the hands come back down to your lap, rolling those shoulders up and down and back. I am going to stay on my bolster this morning, today. And if you choose to and would like to, you can come down onto the floor. We're just going to do a little twist. This is all on how your body is and how your balance is, how you're feeling today. But you may want to bring yourself all the way down onto the floor, onto your mat, okay? So I have my legs crossed. I'm sitting just on my cushion, just enough to bring me up, right? And what I'm going to do is going to take a big breath in, lengthen that spine, find my balance, bring my left hand to the top of my right thigh, and then just walk my right hand behind me onto the floor or onto the mat right behind me, walking the arm in nice and close to my back as if it's another spine. Take a breath in, lengthen up, and exhale, just easy and slowly look over that right shoulder. Take a breath in, don't dump. And exhale, look over that right shoulder. One more time, big breath in. And exhale, look over that right shoulder. Feeling good here. Nice and slow, bring yourself back into center. Let the hands rest back on the thighs. Let everything settle. And then we're going to take the right hand, bring it to the left thigh. And that left hand comes behind us. Again, pushing the arm in nice and close to my body. Letting the fingers support, the palms support down on the earth, lifting up. Exhale, twist. I'm not leaning into that hand. It's just back there to support me. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. Just a little deeper. One more time, breath in. And exhale, out. Nicely done. Inhale, bring your hands to the tops of your knees. Roll those shoulders up and down and back. And we'll sweep our hands up high overhead, moving the hands and the wrists, maybe interlacing them and pushing them up, over, dropping down, just finding a little bit of movement through the hands and the arms. In the upper torso, microphone being bumped there, apologize about that. And letting the hands just drift back down to the knees and the thighs, rolling the shoulders up and down and back. What I'm going to do is remove the bolster out from underneath us, grab a blanket and put it underneath your knees because we're going to come into tabletop, only if you need it, okay? So bringing my bolster out of the way, scooting it off to the side, and I have my blanket here. What I'm going to do is bring the blanket right under my knees. You may not need it if you're doing your home practice. Maybe you're on carpeting as I am, with has a little bit of pad. But then sometimes Sometimes our knees just need a little bit more love, a little bit more cushion. So you can just bring it down onto the mat. And if you don't have a blanket, perhaps like a yoga blanket, you could do is use a bath towel rolled up, folded up. It works as well. Or even a small blanket that you would use like a throw from the couch or a chair. Those work equally as well, just to give your knees a little bit of cushion. All right, so the knees are underneath my hips, and the shins and the tops of my feet are directly behind the knees on both sides. The tops of my feet are just folded over and onto the mat. And then I'm going to take my hands and bring them, spreading the fingers nice and wide, tucking the thumbs in slightly. I'm going to press the palms into the earth, allowing my wrists to just kind of naturally stand underneath the elbows, and the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Now, most of us, we have a tendency to lift the head up, and we look, our eyes naturally going a little bit more out in front of us. Here, I want you to do is roll your chin in so that your eyes start to trail down in between your hands, in between those index fingers, okay? And if you still feel like you're kind of peeking down, bring the chin in just a little closer to the chest. Right? And here, activate your palms, pull the belly button in, and I want you to just slide the back of the shoulder blades down just a little bit. Okay? Now feeling your palms a little bit. Now flex those fingers. Yeah, just a little. Okay. And with a big exhale, I want you to just kind of put this into your muscle memory. Right? And with your next inhale, we're going to find cow by softening the belly and pushing the hips and the head and shoulders as if they're coming up to the sky, finding that India cow. My hands are good support, my knees and my feet are as well. And exhale, nice and easy, tucking the hips, tucking the chin, and pushing the spine to the sky like a cat. All right? And your big inhale, we're just going to move into cow. Just flexing that spine, letting those adrenals reset. And with a full exhale, just find that cat. Okay? And we use full breaths in these movements just to really fuel the movement as we move into cow. And you can go as fast or slow as you want. I like to scan my body and going back into cat just to see how things are feeling. Maybe I just need a little more attention on one of those spots. All right? And do this a couple more times. Nice and easy. Don't rush it. Just hold any spot that might need a little more boost of love from you. At the end of that second full set, bring yourself back into that neutral tabletop. I gotta finish up. Yeah. And you're back into the neutral tabletop. I want you to do is just pivot your fingers so that they are 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Essentially, the wrists or elbows are right under the shoulders, and we've just moved the fingertips so that they are touching the outer edge of our mat. Okay? And here, I just want to slide my weight, shift the shoulders a little bit to the left, giving some love to the wrists, and over to the right. Nothing too deep, just a little bit. You might even feel us down on the knees. Back and forth. 2-3 times, and then bringing yourself back into center, spreading those fingers, really activating the palms, activating the wrists. Okay, and back into center. I'm going to pivot the right wrist, let the fingers go to the top of the mat, and then gently bring the left fingers toward the knee. Now the hands are still, the wrists are still under my shoulders. And we're just gently going to kind of push our hips back toward our heels. Not quite child's pose, but that same feel. Here we're stretching the inside of our left wrist and applying a little bit of openness to the palm on the right hand. Inhale, nice and easy. Bring yourself forward. Maybe shifting your weight so much that you start to feel your shoulders. Now go past the tips of that right hand, fingers. Yeah. Okay, now exhale, bring yourself back. Just stretching, just opening, getting strength in those wrists and those tendons. All right, one more time forward. Okay. Just kind of rocking forward and back. Here's where the blanket kind of comes into play. It's kind of a nice thing. All right, bring yourself into neutral, and we're going to pivot letting the left fingers go to the top of the mat and the right fingers go back toward the right knee. And again, the wrists are right under the shoulders, and you're doing your best to make sure that your alignment is perfect. And then gently, gently, just pushing the weight back just a little bit with those hips and then toward the heels. Stretching the interior portion of that right wrist. And then as you inhale nice and big, just lean forward, feeling a little bit of love on the top of that left hand. And back one more time as you exhale. Okay. And forward one more time as we inhale. Nicely done. Oh, feels good. I like to stretch my belly button here too. Yeah. Bring yourself back into neutral. And with that left hand, just leave it there. And what you do is lift and bring the right hand, to push the back of the right hand into the mat. Now, my weight is more in my left hand than it is my right here. Mostly because I want to kind of find a balance, a little more support. But if it feels better for you to do equal balance, you do that, okay? Right. Press her into that left hand, rotate the right hand, palm down, and then we just do that same little love, rolling the back of the left hand into the mat. Just stretching, just loving, strengthening. Yeah, okay. And then gently bring fingers to the mat, both pointing to the tops of the mat. And I want you to bring your toes closer together. Separate your knees as much as you need to, and find your way back into a child's pose. Now that child's pose does not have to bring the sits bones back all the way to the heels. They might be puffed up a little bit like me because you might have a injury in the knee or the hips. You do what feels best. You can even put a block or bolster underneath you. You separate those knees as much as you need. And you know what? If child's pose is not your thing, it's just like not doing it for you, bring her all the way down into a belly down Shavasana. Okay? Just lay your belly down. Bring your arms down by your sides. And turn your head maybe to the left for a few breaths, and then the chin back into center, and then over to the right, finding balance. Okay. Letting everything reset. It's a nice resting pose. Anytime you're in a practice and you need a break, you come into child's pose, okay? It's pretty much the universal sign of rest. Okay, so nice and easy. Let's bring ourselves back up to the knees, up to the hands, under the knees, finding that child's pose. Okay, maybe find a little cat-cow love. Okay, and then nice and easy, moving that neck and that head. We're going to find our way into down dog. Okay, now all I'm going to do is my hands and my knees are supporting me. They are in the perfect tabletop. I'm going to roll over my toes. So push the pads of my toes into the mat. My hands are going to shift the weight, and I'm straightening up my legs, finding that down dog. Now I'm going to move the blanket out of the way, right? Just because I don't need it, okay? Now, if you feel a little jammed up, it's okay to walk the hands out a little bit or separate them a bit, but the feet should be at hip distance and the hands shoulder width, maybe slightly wider, right? And we're just going to paddle those feet, bending opposite knee, finding a little bit of a walk the dog. And here, really spread and push your hips up high, maybe letting the head hang heavy in between the forearms. So you really feel open through the shoulders. Okay, flex the fingers. Now, if down dog is not your thing, bring yourself back into tabletop, and you can do these poses and these asanas from there. Okay? I'm going to cue from down dog. I'm going to find stillness. I'm going to inhale, bring the right foot up. Again, you can do this from tabletop. Just straightening up that right leg, pointing it to the sky, bringing that right heel over to the left hip. We're going to find a half scorpion. Now you can stay right here. Flex those fingers. Don't let them get too cranky at you. And then maybe you find some circles with that right leg and the knee. Just a little bit, okay? Stretching. And then shift and bring that right toes way up high to the sky. And we'll just step it down. Back onto that down dog. Maybe you need to bring yourself down onto the mat, back into tabletop. Maybe drop onto your elbows and roll your wrists. Okay? That's okay. Flex those fingers. Give them some love. All right? And what we're going to do is make our way back up into tabletop and then into down dog. I'm going to do the left side. Make sure I'm in that perfect harmonious spot. I'm going to inhale, lift the left leg up high and bring that left heel over to the right glute. Now you can stay right here or maybe move that hip and finding a little bit of flexing through the body. Moving the knee, straightening it out. Okay, all right. And then nice and easy, lift those left toes up high and settle that foot back down into your down dog. Once again, coming down onto the knees, finding your tabletop, dropping onto the elbows and rolling the wrists. Only if you wanna, you don't have to, okay? Sometimes it's nice to know you can, right? And then bring yourself back up into your tabletop. Hoist the hips, find down dog. Okay, and here comes the fun. All right, now we're going to inhale, lift the right toes up. Yeah? Okay, and I want you to do is step that right foot in between your hands. Okay, and really walk that right foot out as much as you think you feel good. Just don't be jammed up too much here. And then we're going to do is pivot and drop the left heel down. The left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Gently walk your right foot out just a little bit toward the long edge of the mat. Okay, right. And what we're going to do is make sure that that right knee is behind the right ankle. I'm going to bring my hands to the top of my right thigh. Okay. Here in the crinkles and the crankles. All right. My left leg is nice and strong. I'm starting to bring myself into a standing pose, getting ready to come into warrior one. Right. Now, if you feel that your right foot and you're wobbly, heel toe that foot out just a little bit. Okay. Straighten that left leg up. The right knee is behind that right ankle, maybe right on top of it. All right. And we're going to inhale if you'd like. Bring your hands up high overhead. Settle your shoulders down. Take a breath in here. Straighten that left leg. Okay. And we're going to exhale. Bring our hands into our heart center. Nicely done. We're going to pivot that back foot. Bring it so that it's the same direction as the short edge of your mat. Okay. Keep that leg straight. Keep the knee open on the right. I'm going to bring our right hand out toward the front of the mat and lift our left hand out, coming into a capital letter T. Feeling nice and strong here, finding a warrior two. Don't have limp hands, nice and strong. Energy flowing through you. All right, we're going to inhale, push that right hand forward, flipping it. And then exhale, nice and easy. Bring your right hand up high and let that left hand just kind of trail down your left leg. Keep your right knee open. Feeling big and open here, real strong. All right, nice and easy. Bring yourself into warrior two. Not moving, not popping up. And gently bring both of those hands down to the mat, framing that right foot. Okay. I'm going to pivot your left foot just a little bit. Come onto the tippy toes and bring that right foot up high, kicking it up and settling yourself down into your down dog. Hey, look at you. A little bit of a warrior flow there. Nice job. I'm going to walk my dog. All right. Get ready to do the left side. Okay. So inhale, lift the left leg up. And step that left foot forward, walking it out. Big step here too, okay? We want to be nice and open. I'm going to drop that right heel down, pivoting the right foot at a 45-degree angle. That left foot is slightly ahead of my knee, all right? When you got everything ready, brace your core. I'm going to bring my hands to the top of my thigh. Feel nice and strong through that right leg. Bring my shoulders. Just checking, making sure that knee's not falling in. Want to keep it open. Okay. And when you're ready, I'm going to inhale, bring those hands up high overhead. Let the shoulders drift down. Back leg's nice and strong. Feeling good. Warrior one. I'm going to bring our hands into our heart center. We're going to pivot the heel, toes on that right foot. See, I did that. Keep that left knee open. I'm going to open up. Left hand out forward, right hand behind me. Just feeling nice and hearty, open. Big breath here, strong. I'm going to flip my front palm and inhale, lean forward. And reverse that warrior, staying nice and low. Keep that front knee open. The right hand trail down the leg. Beautiful work. Okay. And gently bring yourself back into warrior two without losing any height or depth. Nicely done. We're going to cartwheel and bring our hands down to the mat, framing that left foot. I'm going to pivot my right foot just enough to come on the pads of the toes and lift that left leg up and settle it down. Finding down dog, walking my dog. Oh, maybe dropping onto the knees and going onto the elbows, going Adho Yogi. Nice job. Yeah. Okay, it feels good. All right. So everybody come down onto your elbows, down onto your knees. And find a little bit of movement, a little bit of shake through those hips. Maybe move the head side to side and up and down. Move those wrists. Okay, feels good. All right, I'm going to just speed that up. You want to do it one more time? We'll just speed it up just a little bit. You got it. I know you can do this. All right, so we're going to come into our tabletop. I'm going to tuck those toes and roll them and hoist the hips. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm in that perfect adjustment. Walking my dog a little bit. All right, and when you're ready, I want you to root that left foot. Inhale, lift the right one. Step it forward, walking it up and out. Topping that left foot down. Hands to the top of the right knee. Hands up high. Keeping that knee open. Finding our warrior one. Hands to heart center. Opening up as I pivot my back foot. Keeping that front knee open. Finding warrior two. Strong arms, flipping the front palm. Inhale, leaning forward, flip, and reverse, bringing that right hand up high. The left arm maybe comes behind my back. Yeah, fine. Exhale back into warrior two. And cartwheel and bringing those hands down to the mat. Pivoting onto the left toes, lifting right leg, and settling it down. Look at that. Look at you. Inhale, lift the left toes. Exhale, stepping it forward, adjusting, planting that right foot, bringing hands to knee, hands up high overhead, settling nice and strong here. Feeling good in warrior one. Exhale, hands to heart center, pivoting that right heel, opening up into warrior two. Adjusting, maybe I feel a little jammed up there. Inhale, leaning forward, flipping the front palm, and reversing that warrior. Letting the right hand go down the leg or behind my back in a half bind. Yeah. Back into warrior two. Cartwheeling, bringing the hands down to the mat. Pivoting on the right toes. And lifting and bringing that left leg up high. Big breath in. Walking the dog. Dropping down onto the knees. Maybe dropping onto the elbows, rolling the wrists. Giving yourself an Adho Yogi and dropping down onto your hips, your sits bones. Get a drink of water real quick, real quick. And then we're going to come onto our mat, bringing yourself in. I don't know about you, but I'm a little sticky. Make sure you have one of your blocks. And if you have a strap close by, maybe we'll have that too. So first thing is we're going to bring my block over here on my hip. And I am going to take my strap and nice and slowly, with my sits bones pretty much in the middle of my mat. My knees are bent. Soles of my feet are on the mat. I'm going to bring that strap around the soles of my feet. Now I'm going to come into a legs up the wall using this strap. You don't have to use this strap, but you can. Sometimes it's helpful, especially if you've got tight hamstrings or your low back's a little tender. So you can bring the strap around the soles of the feet and use your hands just to guide the knees in closer to your chest. Okay, now I'm not tugging, I'm just guiding, okay? Quite a bit of difference. And when it feels good, maybe using that strap, straighten up your legs up over your hips with the toes flex in toward your nose. Okay, now if you don't need the strap, you don't have to use it. I'm just going to hang it there, okay? Right, let's let the heels push to the sky. Right, and if this is a little bit too much, bend the knees, okay? And if it's really too much, just bring the feet all the way back down to the earth, right? Maybe move a little bit side to side. And if you found it was too much, maybe just bring one leg up, bending the knee on the opposite side. And find some circles with my feet. Yeah. I'm massaging that low back. All right. And nice and slowly. Whether you have the strap or not, we're going to leave our right foot up high. Aha. And we'll bring that left foot down. Okay. See if you can do that. Even with the strap. Okay. We point the toes, move the ankle. Okay. And then gently bring that left foot back up inside the strap. Change places so the foot's underneath the strap. And let that right foot come down. I'm doing this without a strap, just so I show you can do it, okay? Right. Maybe move that left ankle a little bit. Yeah, okay. Right, and then nice and easy, go ahead and bring that right foot back up, finding your legs up the wall, pushing the heels. And just keeping those elbows nice and soft next to the side of the body, just guiding that strap, okay? If you don't have the strap in your hands, just using the core and your low back and your hamstrings to lift those feet. It's so good for our heart and our lungs, our brain. Okay. And I'm finding a little bit of movement, maybe some lazy figure eights with the heels. It's good for my brain also to think about, well, what way did I just do? Okay. And then nice and slowly, bend your knees and bring them in close to your chest. Okay, now if you still have that strap, just kind of let it go and move it over to the side. Okay. I'm going to leave the knees right there resting on our chest. Bring the hands to the tops of the knees, maybe the backs of the thighs, and then just gently move side to side. And a little bit of massage for the back and the spine. Maybe a little bit of hip flexing here. See how that feels. Okay. And then slowly, I want you to bring your fingers to the top of your right knee and let that left leg go nice and long. Okay. Now let the heel drop onto the earth. Our fingers are around the top of the right knee or the right, behind the right knee, just in that area. Just kind of guiding the right side body together around the ribs, up toward the shoulder, kind of squeezing in for the hip flexor. Feels good. Okay, we're going to find a supine twist. So leave the left hand on the right knee. Bring your right arm out. And then gently just guide that right knee over toward the left side of your body. You would need to keep both shoulders on the mat. That feels pretty good. A little bit of a twist for the inside organs, the hips, hip flexors. Perfect. Slowly bring yourself back to your back, bringing that right knee up to the shoulder, opening your arms just enough to let the left knee come up to the chest. Maybe find a wiggle or two. Okay. And then stillness, we're bringing the fingers over to the left knee, left thigh, and letting that right leg go nice and long. Bringing that connection between the shoulder and the knee closer by avoiding the rib cage. Pushing the right heel into the earth. Shoulders are flat. Feels good. Okay. Leave the right hand on the knee. Bring the left hand up to the side of the body in a T. And slowly bring that left knee over to the right side of the body, finding that supine twist. Mindful your shoulders stay on the earth. If you start to feel that left shoulder lift up, just bring the knee back. Don't go so deep. Okay. This isn't so much about the twist as it is just feeling a little bit of movement. All right. Allowing the body some change. Yeah. And then gently bring your back to the mat. Bring that left knee up to the shoulder, squeezing it in there, opening up and bringing both knees to your chest, rocking side to side. Feels good. Okay. And then slowly bringing the feet down. I'm going to grab that block. Knees are staying to the sky. We're going to find a supported bridge and then wrap this baby up. Supported bridge using a block, maybe a heavy book. we're going to do is walk the heels in close to our sits bones and push our hips up high, letting that block just kind of come underneath our low back. Now this is supported bridge because we are supporting our low back, pushing that up, opening up, finding that wheel family heart opening chakra love. Okay. Now a lot of things you can do here. One of them is just chill. Don't have to do anything other than make sure that this block underneath your back is not hurting. If it's uncomfortable, walk the heels in and kind of find the wiggle, find it where it feels better. Okay. And if it still is uncomfortable, maybe turn it to a lower side on the block or completely remove it and just bring yourself down to the mat. All right. Lift the back if you need to. I'm just getting stronger through the back. My arms are resting just kind of alongside my body, the hands down toward the hips, out just a bit. Okay. Now you can stay right here, or maybe you get fancy, bring the knees up over your hips, slowly letting them down. Maybe doing one leg and extending it into that leg's up the wall, shifting and bringing other side up. Okay, or maybe even getting super fancy and bringing both up. I like to have my hands close to the block just in case it's not quite in the right spot and it shifts. I want to be able to support it. Okay, and adjust if I need to. So I don't want to get hurt. All right. So you can play a little bit, opening the legs, drifting them up and down. Always finding balance, always doing equal for each side. Maybe, oh, I don't know, eagle legs. I guess I can do that. Both sides, wrapping one leg underneath the other. Woohoo! Checking out my flexibility there, mobility. Finding legs up the wall one more time. And slowly starting to bring yourself back into a grounding position. Letting the soles of the feet drift back down to the earth. Maybe finding my favorite expansion bridge, walking my heels out, your heels out, toward the end of the mat, and just letting that block kind of backward stretch. Ooh, yeah, feels good. Good. Not staying here too long, just enough. Okay. And then gently walking the heels back up toward the sits bones, up toward that block, finding that regular supported bridge. Pushing the heels into the earth just enough that I can lift up off of the block and slowly return my vertebrae to the mat. Taking a breath and then gently bringing the knees into my chest. Maybe tucking them in, maybe moving side to side. And bringing that back of the head up off the mat. And slowly lowering the feet down, shoulders down, legs nice and long. Spreading them out nice and wide. If you've got a bolster and you want to slide in under the back of your knees, you can. And find your way into Shavasana. Let a big breath go in and out of you as you take up space. Get all those wiggles out. You separate your legs. Take a big breath in. And let a big breath go. Shavasana. Positivity. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always be grateful and feel the gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest of situations. Whenever you are ready, and start to bring your awareness back to the space by moving your feet and hands and fluttering the toes and fingers. Find just a simple and gentle roll of your shoulders. And with that stretch, rolling yourself over to your favorite side, and be mindful. Just be mindful of how you're feeling. And the knees come close to the chest, and maybe that favorite side arm is a pillow. Right. And a breath of smile inside or outside. Maybe an it feels good. Gently bring your hands to right in front of your face and press yourself up into a seated position. Letting your legs be crossed, maybe long out in front of you. You do what feels best. Together, we bring our hands high overhead. And let the palms come together, and we exhale those hands into our heart center. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. And I do. I honor the light, the love, the beauty, the truth, and kindness in you. Because it's in me too. And with these things shared, there is nothing different or distant between us. We are the same and thankfully one. From my very grateful heart to yours, namaste. Thanks so much for making time for you. And I appreciate you. Until our paths cross again, be safe and know you are loved.